Alright guys, Lurkin here from Mobilytics, and I woke up to some very exciting things. We're going to get into a 150, this will be my first ever 150 or max pit. So this is a standard fireball build. It plays really nicely because it has Shaco, but the rub is it's a shatter build. But hear me out. So it's a shatter build, and it's using greater fireball. But the rub here is that it's using Decay Augmentation. So when you're casting Fireball, 54% of your damage is applying as burning. The burning stacks up, stacks up, stacks up. And then as you hit the enemies more and more, the greater Fireball, the 10% damage, starts to stack up, stack up, stack up. And then they just get nuked with the shatter. It doesn't need mobs for the bosses. The damage just stacks up so fast when you have open spaces because of the normal fireball bugs with illuminators and endless rage. This build is the first ever shatter build that I'll be playing and making a guide on, and that's because it's easy to play. There's not much going on with it. You're just grouping mobs, fireballing them until they die. It's not grouping mobs, casting burning damage, and timing your stuff. You just group up enemies, get a little bit away, get some space, and then you should get nuked. Give it a second. We got an aura champion. There we go. So we're starting to get some shatter procs. We got some burning damage stacked up, and then the whole pack just gets nuked. So the idea is you want to group up enemies, group them up. And then I teleport a little bit at the distance. And then try and get some good damage on them. Or you can sit right on them. Doesn't really make too big of a difference. Yeah, so 26,000 trillion. What's after a trillion? Is it quadrillion? Yeah. So this is it's so crazy. And one more thing to note is there's a bug with Decay Augmentation and Conceited to where it's like stacking up like triple or whatever. This build is so free and it's just fun. Because it just plays like a normal fireball build. You don't even have to run Raymond if you don't want, because you can group with Inferno, but Raymond, because of the grouping and the shatter, Raymond's always going to be the best option. Like, you can probably even take out this guy solo if you just let the Decay Augmentation stack up. Things will die, so you don't always have to have mobs, and that's the best thing about the build, is that it's super bugged, but you don't even need bosses with mobs. Like, the bosses just die in like 10 seconds. The Decay Augmentation burning damage stacks up, the greater fireball nukes them. And luckily I have some nice open space here, so this is really great. Just got lucky here. This is my first 150. Wow. And this is awesome because I loved playing Fireball, and it's honestly, it plays no different. You don't even have to switch the setup for farming or anything. You can just play this setup. It's just gonna nuke. I was doing seasonal witch tides with it and it was totally fine. Alright, I'm gonna try and group up some packs, get some nice grouping going. And then boom, just huge explosions. 10,000 trillion. It's a little squishy because of Raiment, but like I said, you don't need to run Raiment. You can run Shroud. But it's awesome that I get to play Shaco. And I think the reason we use Shaco is for the cooldown reduction for your ice armor. I think you die. So there probably will be a super sweaty variant with Perdition, but Shaco's working it for me right now. The fireball itself is just the thing stacking up the burning damage. This is a bit dicey. These guys are terrible. Oh, 15,000 trillion. This is crazy. I'm having so much fun. I've never wanted to play shatter builds because they've always been so cumbersome. But now that there's a shatter build that's like not cumbersome, it's just a build. I'm all for it, man. I still want shatter to get fixed, but at the same time, I'm gonna have some fun with it. Like, let's see if we can just kill this guy alone. Yeah, we can. It's almost like the shatter just, I don't know, when they become unfrozen. So I don't even know, like the grouping's great, but yeah, you can just group up enemies, just get a little bit of distance, and then randomly they just get nuked. All the burning damage stacks up. One enemy dies, and it's just a cascade. And it can handle single target, too. This is nutty. I started at 113 this morning, and I've, like, quickly made my way up. This has been so free. I hope they let us keep this for the season. Because everybody else has fun toys. This is our fun toy. Easiest to play, not even cancerous. These guys are a bit of an issue. It still has the corridor issues, but they're really not as bad. Oh my god, they just died. And I have a plan already. You know, I still need to do a lot of experimentation. This was just found out this morning. Makuna posted a 150. I couldn't. Was trying to figure out what build he was using because he's secretive. And then somebody DM'd me a video that's linked in the guide of the clear, and I made some small, just some very small adjustments, mainly witch powers to my actual build and to my actual fireball build that I posted earlier. And yeah, it's just a normal fireball build. So like this guy, get him out in the open, keep some distance with him, stack up that burning damage, and he dies. 35 trillion. 35,000 trillion. This is great, you know. It's not fully reliant on shatter. Like, you can actually kill enemies without the shatter. Like, there's a chance you could just run this with combustion. Probably not. But that's a quick, easy breezy lemon squeezy. Right, so right here, keep some distance from him. And damage is, once I get a stagger, damage is just going to stack up. He's just going to die. Boom, dead. Alright. Let's go over the setup. I'm upgrading Torch. You know, I'm gonna try some things. But alright, here's the setup. So, Shaco, I have Tamom for Warcry. You know, you get your cooldown reduction. You have your Raiment for clumping up enemies. Prioritize Glass Cannon. Just Gloves of the Illuminator. You're gonna want 100%. Prioritize Ranks the Fireball. And then we have Snow Veiled Pants. These are so nice in the build. And what's cool is with Ice Armor, we can keep pretty much permanent uptime because of Shaco, and if you get more cooldown, like if you can get it to that 6 seconds. But, you know, I have Icy Veil so that it lasts longer. And then, so you're just permanently unstoppable. And then just some Orange Herald Boots, just for more intelligence, some evade cooldown reduction, and to reduce the cooldown of your ultimate. A little bit of move speed so that it's not slowing down. And then Endless Rage here. You're going to want 90%, and I'm running Seer Gar. I think there's some play with, if you can get your crit chance up good enough because of your gear, there's some play with Seer and Thul for the Frost Nova, but my crit chance just is so lacking from losing Perdition that I just have to run Gar for the crit chance, prioritize Ranks the Fireball, and then your Amulet. I'm not sure what the best Amulet is going to be. It's probably going to come down to Int, Permafrost, Inner Flames. And I think Dev Blaze is still really good, though. I don't know exactly how it interacts with Shatter and Decay Augment, like the key passives. So, like, you might just be safe running Permafrost and Inner Flames. But you'd probably want crit damage on here and Inferno cooldown reduction, but Evade and Inferno fine. And then the big one here is, you know, I think you want Conceited over 3 curses. And that's because of the Decay Augmentation. You get your Tal Rasha, 75% damage, and you know got a lot of cooldown reduction. And then Starless guys here, and you're just going to want to prioritize attack speed. Alright, so skill tree, the only really things that change that are different is, you know, we have greater fireball. Deals 10% of the burning damage you applied as additional direct damage. That has a really cheeky interaction with shatter. And then I think I've taken some, I think I take Endless Pyre just to get more burning damage. And it's just like your standard run-of-the-mill stuff. And we are using Familiar just to get more burning damage. But I think if you really wanted, you could run the Roaring Ice Blade to like reduce your cooldowns more. I think that's really up to you. And then we have Mystical Ice Armor, so that we deal more damage to frozen enemies. It's a lot. We can keep that up. And then important too is the Icy Veil, so that like you pop your Ice Armor. And let's see how long it lasts with the cooldown itself. So right there, Ice Armor ends, I have it back. And that's with, you know, pretty good gear, but, you know, no GA cooldown on Tel Rasha. Paragon, I'm just using the same Paragon that I used for my normal Fireball build, and that's Tactician on the starter. Searing Heat I just have Exploit. Exploit's pretty good because, you know, it's all damage, works for everything. Then you have Fundamental Release for more damage, 50%. And then I have Pyromaniac. I think Pyromaniac stays. It's pretty good. For more fire damage. You got Frigid Fate for more vulnerable, 60%. Then Elementalist, you know, it's pretty standard stuff here. And then last but not least, I do take a Destruction here. I don't think Shatter can crit, but I think the Destruction maybe works with Decay Augmentation. I don't know. Maybe this Destruction might be the one that goes if we do some more testing and we figure out maybe like Torch is better, maybe Territorial or just something. I'm not totally sure what's going to be the best. Maybe Control. Who knows? We'll find out though. And then last but not least, Icefall, 50% damage to frozen enemies and bosses. So, you know, just pretty good stuff here. I don't think you're not gonna want Burning Instinct for combustion, despite it being burning damage, because you want to increase that shatter pop as well. But who knows? Maybe Burning Instinct and combustion ends up being the play. But the witch powers are going to be the one. So you have your common growth and decay witch powers are more potent. You're out, you know, every second your core skill is treated as an Eldritch that works with Purging Touch. And then I would have probably right here, I don't have it, but it would be your Eldritch powers have more potency. It's all in the planner and the build guide. And then the witch powers, you got Doom Orb, just to satisfy an Eldritch. And then we have Purging Touch so that their Eldritch effects deal more damage. Decay Augmentation is the big one. You're going to want to max this out, and it's not that expensive. Witchcraft's effect deal 54% of their base damage over 5 seconds. So it's burning. It's huge. And if the damage over time exceeds 85% of life, the target's executed. That might be why they're just getting nuked. Soul Harvest, still bugged, but you know, more main stat. Try and use your cooldown like in a big pack the second you get into the pit. Shaken Soul, just to like ensure that we have vulnerable on everything all the time, because Inferno's often not enough. And then this one's a little bit of a flex, but we have Breath of the Coven just to get more attack speed. Here, I think I'm only getting 15%, but this one's a bit expensive to rank up, but you can get a lot of attack speed out of this. And the enchantments, Teleport Enchant and Fireball Enchant. Just when the enemy dies, they explode in the fireball, more fireballs. And as you can see, the fact that Fireball Enchant doesn't work on bosses didn't matter whatsoever. But build guide's up, and I'm gonna be tweaking it as time goes on, because I'm gonna min max this build, get it looking pretty good. All right, see you guys.